Hello, everyone. You are welcome to the 2025 BULLRUN Academy. This section is going to help you with cryptocurrency terms. And then from the last course we had, we talked about what is cryptocurrency in that class. All right. So right now we want to see how we can break it down for you to understand some of the crypto terms that were used and just to help you understand it more. So we'll be touching some terminologies like when you talk about digital currencies, when you talk about cryptography, when you talk about the blockchain, we'll make it very simple for you to understand so that you can digest that information that came from the last class. So without waste of time, let's start with digital currency. So what are digital currencies? Well, it's simple. We all know what the banks do. They help you transfer funds. They move funds around from one person to the other. So the banks are the middlemen. But in cryptocurrency, you don't have any middleman. Okay, so it's peer to peer. One person can move monies to the next person. But what you need is the internet. Okay, and gadgets that help you use the internet are things like cell phones. Let me draw a cell phone here. Okay, this is a cell phone. Let me put our dots. All right, so this cell phone is owned by Madam Miriam. Okay, and then this computer, okay, is owned by Madam Joy. Now Madam Miriam wants to send monies to Madam Joy for things she bought from her. Let's say she bought clothes. Okay. Now, in this her phone, she has the worth of, let's use Naira. She has 500,000 Naira. Okay. And she wants to send, she's sending from the phone, she's sending 3,000 Naira. Okay. Now, it means that what would happen in this case is she has to have internet here. Okay. There must be internet here. Okay. And then for Madam Miriam to send to Madam Joy too must have internet. This exact is the internet. So it is electronic. It means that there must be a backup for these things to work. And what is the backup? It must go into a live network. Otherwise, it will just be figures like in a calculator. But a calculator cannot send those digits to another, calculator because there is what something is missing. And that thing that is missing is that network. Okay. This zigzag is like lightning bolt. But what I'm trying to explain here is that this is a network. It must go live. It is like electricity. Okay. If you have a dead electricity cable, there's no flow of electricity in it. But when you have a live electricity cable, it means that there's a flow of electricity in it. So something must back it up for it to become transferable. It has to go into a network. So in the traditional banking system, we have the CBN that makes those monies come into the computer network for it to be transferable. While on the cryptocurrency, we have the blockchain that is owned by nobody. So if you get this, you get this right. So let's use an example of this picture right here. All right. So if you look at this picture, you will notice there are activities all around here. You have like phones, gadgets. You have signs of lights, internet, and all of that. Okay. So let's use this. as an example. All right. So if you can see, you see the PayPal there. All right. This is PayPal. This is PayPal everywhere. Even on this phone, this gadget, you have PayPal. You have P here as well. Okay. So now, what does this mean? PayPal doesn't use physical currency, use digital currency most of the times. And globally, look at all of this. This is like the globe. This is the globe. All right. This sign here is a globe. All right. Representing it in this picture, if you understand this picture. Now, you see PayPal in the middle. See PayPal in the middle. If you notice, there are lights. You see these lights here, tiny, tiny lights here. So they are signs of like internet, live networks. So they are transferable. You can see lines joining them. Okay, you can see lines joining movements from this one to this one, moving, all moving. So that means transfers can be made here, made here, made here, made here. They represent this hard currency. So that's how people move monies around with digital currency. You don't need to have a physical cash. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's easier, and it's the modern way, the current updated ways of transferring monies and wealth. So that's that for um, digital currency. So this is another picture that helps you understand what we're talking about. All right. So if you look at this picture here, you will see the dollar sign. This is a dollar sign. This is a physical dollar, but you can see how the transactions move from here, okay, to this point, to this point, to this point, back to this person. Monies all go around. You can see the network spreading everywhere. So it helps you understand how digital currency works, just like you have it in your bank apps. So that's how digital currencies work. That out of the way, the next thing we want to look at is cryptography. And then when you talk about cryptography, to make it easy, I would like to show you this picture to illustrate it. Cryptography simply means security, codes, things that makes you not to access something easily, like a vault. When you look at this, consider this picture here, you would notice that in this picture, there's something like a vault. Look at it here, like inside the bank. Now, before you get to this vault, see key here. There's a key here, a keyhole there. So it means that you have to have the right key to fit there. See another example here again. This is a padlock. You see the hole? There's a key. There's need for key. So when you talk about cryptocurrency or cryptography, it means that there are secret codes. It is just like a password. If you don't have that code, you can't access it. If you can guess it, fine. Usually very difficult. Okay, so that's cryptography. Once you get this illustration, fine, you understand what cryptography means. All right, we want to talk about something very interesting and hard for a lot of people, though I will do my best to explain it here, not in detail because we have that subject and in the after the next class that will come up, we'll discuss just about the blockchain and how it works. But this is very good for you to understand. Now, when you hear people say blockchain, 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 what does it really mean? Blockchain is that engine. Okay, so let's draw a block. We'll draw a block here. Blockchain is that engine, that system. Okay, this is a block. Okay, this is a block. This is just a block. It has chains, right? Connects to another block. Okay, connects to another block. Now, what does this block do? It's simple. This block enables people to transfer money from one point to the other. This is Madam Chinwe. Okay, this is Madam Chinwe. And then she has money on this blockchain here. It gives life. That means it controls the network. So that if Madam Chinwe has $1,000, okay, she has $1,000, this block will make sure that her 1,000 is 1,000. If she takes 500 dollars from her wallet, it will show the balance of the remaining 500. Okay, now Madam Chiwe wants to send monies, okay, to another madam, her friend, and her friend is in Lagos. Okay, so who should we call her friend? Madam Onyekachi. This is Madam Onyekachi. She's a big businesswoman. Okay, now Madam Onyekachi will receive this money in digital format. So what does the blockchain do? The blockchain will ensure that Madam Chiwe will not send $1,000 to Madam Onyekachi and repeat again and create counterfeit money and send to a different person again. Madam Saude, I'll draw only the head. Okay? So, because there's no space again. All right. So that's what happened. Just as you have your bank account, this blockchain, what it helps people do is just to secure the ledger, the records. You got $1,000. If you spend $200 from it, you have $800 left. That is what the blockchain does, and it stores all this data. It's as simple as that. Okay, that's what the blockchain does. So anybody who is telling you the blockchain is that background machine, just as you have the CBN creating a network for the banks through their computers. Simple and short. That's what the blockchain does. Okay, not more than that. All right. So let's also discuss what is decentralization. Decentralization is always used. They say the blockchain is decentralized. It simply means that no single person owns power. For example, let me use politics. If politics were truly decentralized, it would have been good, but it's not the case. Let's give an example. For example, this is the center, the presidency. Okay? For you to understand that the center does not have all the powers, you have regional power, you have the local government power. Okay? Then you can have that of the state. Okay? So they are all connected. They are all connected. So there is power in the state, there's power in the region, there's power in the local government. Sometimes this center power cannot make a decision until all these other one, two, three agrees. Okay, until there is a consensus. If there's a consensus agreement, then everything goes smoothly. Decisions are taken, new laws are passed by, just like you have the Senate, House of Reps, House of Representatives, and all those. You have the judiciary, arms of government. But it is not so with government. It's not truly decentralized. So when you say decentralized in on the blockchain, it means that you have different computers that are called nodes, okay, all over the world, and anybody can decide to have a node. Okay, so you have them scattered all. So now, whatever it recorded in the blockchain, all of them will have a copy, and then it's connected. Everybody is connected. So anything that comes, anything that is not approved by any of them, they'll say, where did this one come from? We don't accept it. So it must all recognize, and no central power. There's no central power that dominates all of them. No, it is connected and anybody can be part of this. So you see what we mean by decentralization. So it is fair, it means freedom. It means freedom. So you have that. Now, what do we check again? When you talk about limited supply on the cryptocurrency, it means that if BTC is only 12 million, Nobody can add nor subtract. It will remain 12 million. Okay, so when BTC now, everybody in the world, 12 million people, 12 million people now have BTC. Okay, BTC. And then what happens to the remaining people in the world? Let's assume that we are still left with 9 billion people not having BTC. And these 9 billion people now say, we want BTC, we want BTC, we want BTC. What happens? There will be scarcity. And then when there's scarcity, it shoots the price of Bitcoin up. Okay? But this is different from the fiat currency. When the government prints more money, they have this amount of money, let's say $1 trillion, and the government now needs more money for some other project. They now increase the size to like this. They now print it to become $2 trillion. They now decide to increase it again. A new government came and increased again. Say, we don't want to borrow less. It now becomes $3 trillion. What happens to the value of the dollars? What happens to the value of the dollars? The big dollars. What happens to this value? This is what simply happens. It starts to come down because it's diluted. Okay, it becomes diluted. When you have a full bucket, okay, let me draw a good bucket. You have a full bucket, okay, of coffee or a cup of coffee, let me put it that way, but a very big one. And then you have another cup of water. You have the coffee halfway here, all right, and then you start. This is quality when you taste it. Oh, I love the sugar in it, the content. I love the choco in it. But you now start carrying water and start pouring into it. What will be the value of this coffee? You think more people will be interested in getting it? Will it be that nourishing? Will it have substance, that thickness? No, it becomes full, but no much people won't love it. The quality has been diluted, it's been reduced. So that is what we mean when we say there is limited supply. Okay, when we have limited supply of the Bitcoin or other currencies, it now makes it much more valuable. Okay, then when you hear secure transactions, that should be okay for you to understand. Nobody can hack your transactions. There are other ways they can cheat you, but when you don't know how to use the tools on the crypto space, especially when it's not built on the blockchain. Okay, then we also have investment. People talk about investment. What do you understand by investment? What we're talking about crypto terms in the last subject, what is cryptocurrency? We talked about investment. Investment simply means like when you buy stock. Okay, this is Ethereum, ETH, and Ethereum has a software that solves a lot of problems on the Bitcoin. This is the software. And what does this software do? It makes you to build websites, apps. Let me just put it like that, like website. It helps you to build these apps that are built on the blockchain. This was not done before, so it makes Ethereum special. Okay, so now people now say, this technology is good. The technology of Ethereum is good and it helps the Bitcoin to grow. It helps the blockchain to be more important and useful. So what happens now? Everybody is saying, Ethereum is making money. Ethereum is making money as a company. Remember, as a company that sells what? Software. Software that improves on the blockchain. Now, Ethereum, anything that is built on the blockchain is decentralized. It means that tokens or coins are now created for the masses to have, or everybody. A lot of people can now have shares, it's not limited. Okay, so it now has stock. It becomes like, you know, a stock, a company that has shares to sell. So when you buy Ethereum, you have become a owner, a share owner of that company called Ethereum. Okay. So when you buy ETH at when it was at the price of $10, okay, and then the market, the volatility. Let me explain what volatility means. It means sometimes the market will come down. This is $10. It now come down. It came down to $7. It now came up to $8. That's volatility. It now draw up to $6. You didn't sell. You bought at $10. Then it now shoot to $15. You've made $5. Okay, you made $5. What do? You sell at this point. And then when you sell, you now convert the money to what we call stable coin, USDT. USDT. So that this one does not go up and down like this and like that. It's not volatile. So your money becomes safe. So when you put it in USDT, when you come tomorrow, you still see $15. Okay, remember you had $10. You still see $15. That explains USDT as well. Okay, so you now look at Ethereum, and you now wait for Ethereum after those movements it has made. You now wait for Ethereum to come down a little bit, and maybe it stopped at this time $11. You now say, this thing will soon go up again. That's the flexibility of the cryptocurrency and how you make monies. Now, before it starts going, it came down a little bit. Let me clear this. It now came down a little bit. It came down a little bit. Came to even $5. You didn't touch it. Then before you know it came up and it went to $7. You didn't touch it. You bought it at $11. It now came down and then shoot up again. And then this time it went to $20. Remember, you brought in $11. You have kept $4 because you made $15. You reinvested $11. So that means the profit of $4 is still there. Now it has gone to $20. You see how you make monies? You see this $11 is now giving you $20. So how much have you made? Equals to $9. 9. Now this 9, let's clean 4 plus 9. 4 plus 9 equals to $13. But remember how much you started with? How much you started with? Now, this is your profit. The initial capital you started with was $10, if you remember. Now you still have, because we just remove $9 from those 20. Now, don't forget, you still have an extra, if I'm not mistaken, you still have an extra 20, you still have an extra $11. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so that's how it works. So you can see that the total monies you have made. No, I think this is wrong calculation. Okay, we started with 10. We started with 10. We went to 15. Okay, we reinvested 11. So $4 was there. Then the 11 became $20. All right. So with your capital, you have $20, and your profit, and the profit you removed, which is 4, you have $24 in capital and in profit. So, and you started with only $10, so you've made 14 extra dollars. So that's how it works. Okay. That's for these explanations. Okay, when you also talk about smart contracts means when you have an agreement with somebody. Okay, this person says, if you finish this contract, I give you. All right, this is Madam Chinwei, okay, and Madam Miriam. All right, now ordinarily Madam Chinwei wants to have a deal with Madam Miriam, but she doesn't trust her. So she would now look for another person, maybe Madam Joy here. Please give keep this money for the boat for us. Hold this money. We'll give you $1,000, $1K. Okay, Madam Miriam will now tell, sorry, Madam Chinwe, this Chinwe here, will now tell Madam Joy here that keep this 1K. Once Madam Miriam is able to deliver her fashion clothes to me, I will tell you to pay her. But in this case, Madam Miriam must trust Madam Joy, and Madam Chinwe must trust Madam Joy. So now, what happens in this scenario when you talk about smart contract? In this case, what solution cryptocurrency has brought using Ethereum is that this smart contract, this is Madam Chinwe, okay, and this is Madam Miriam. They don't need a middle person. The smart contract to be the computer. You just tell it what to do, what time to pay this person after this person deliver. That's what smart contract is. Okay, so these are terms you need to understand on the crypto space. When you understand, and I'm giving you lecture, you grab this, you would understand. Remember, you need these basics. If you have these basics, to make money becomes easier. You have a direction. You won't blame anybody for your mistakes because you are aware. But when you do things, you just pursue the money, you will not go too far. So be patient enough to learn these basics and then make your own decisions, not anybody guiding you. Cryptocurrency as it is now, nobody knows everything. Only limited things we know. We most of us are only just doing more of guesswork. There is no complete expert as far as I'm concerned on the crypto space. You just have the knowledge that is open to everybody. Okay, you have a lot of speculation. All right, cheers. Have a lovely day and see you in the next class.